morning, children. Today we are going to continue from the previous part which we had started in our previous class. Actually not previous class, but just before models we had just started the non-finite verbs, and we had talked about the basic thing which is first of all needed, that is the difference between finite and non-finite, right? So you have now already learned that what is finite verbs and what is non-finite verbs, okay? And we have also got to know that the three parts of non-finites are infinitives, which we have already discussed, then that is gerunds, and the last one is participles. So what I'll do is, this particular chapter which we had already discussed before, now we'll talk, just revise once again, okay? Infinitives, then I'll talk about gerund. Now what I'll do is I'll make two videos, okay? I'll just cut the video into two parts so that it becomes easier for you to understand also, and so that the video doesn't get too long for you. Okay, so in the first video you will get infinitives once revision and about gerunds, and because participles, when we talk about participles, no, it will become a little longer. So that one I'll mention in the next video. You will get that in next video. Okay, so let's start the thing. First of all, our chapter is non-finite verbs. Yes, non-finite verbs. Now this non-finite verbs, this has three divisions. Those are infinitives. Okay, infinitives. First of all, we'll just take a quick revision about what infinitives are. So infinitives, first of all, it is not the main verb in the sentence. Okay, this is the first thing. Secondly, as we have learned, non-finites, they don't change. Okay, they don't change according to person, tense or number. Even if the person, number or tense changes, this verbs does not change. Okay, these verbs, they don't change as compared to finite verbs. I showed in my last video also, okay, making that table, I showed that if the person has changed, or if the subject, that means in singular person or maybe number has changed, so what happens, the verb also changes. So you can check that previous video. But here in non-finites, what happened, and as we are going to talk about now infinitives also, so it does not change. Okay, these are two things you need to remember for infinitives, that it is not the main verb first of all, and the verb, the infinitive, it does not change whatever may be the tense, number and person. Okay, now how is it created? How do we write that? We write it by the help of 2 plus verbs base form. Okay, this is the first thing. Now how do we do that? So let's just take any verb. For example, let's take sing. Okay, so when we add to, then it becomes an infinitive. To sing, it becomes an infinitive. Let's write, let's take another verb. For example, eat. So when we add to, it becomes infinitive. Then if we add, let's take another, play. When we add to, then it becomes infinitives. These are infinitives. Now infinitives, when these two are present, they are infinitives. Now infinitives can also be called as infinitive without the word to. So in that case, what they are called? They are called then bare infinitive. In that case, they are called bare infinitives. What happens here? This thing, na, 2 plus verbs base form, this is not present then. Okay, let me not cut it, otherwise you will again think that what is this happening. I'll mention it here only. Let 2 be here. I'll write here 2 plus verbs base form. Now what happens? This 2 word is not present. Let's see what are the examples. Let's see some examples. These are also some examples, okay? These are some examples. Let's see what can we write. For example, we can write she made me cry. This is the bare infinitive. This is an infinitive, okay? But it is infinitive. This is the principal verb. This is the action word, made, to make something, okay? So here what is made? Someone is made to cry, but that thing is not written here. The 2 word is not mentioned here. So that's how it is a bare infinitive. Let's give one more example. I heard him sing a song. Okay, so I heard this. This is my primary verb, or this is the main verb, you can say. This is the main activity of hearing something. I heard something. Now I heard what? Someone was, or this person, that person was singing a song. So I hope you have understood. And while this 2 is not present here, that means I heard someone to do something. That means this person was had heard someone sing a song. So this is the infinitive, but here while 2 is not mentioned, that means this is a bare infinitive. Okay, this is our part of infinitive. Now we will be talking about gerunds. We are going to talk about gerunds. Okay, we are done with infinitives. Now we'll talk about gerunds. So gerunds. Now first you need to understand what are gerunds. I think you had got it in your last year. If you just go through what that chapter was, that 3rd chapter in workbook, if you check now, there was one exercise. If you have the book, then you can recheck once. We had got it there. So gerunds are what? First of all, it is a verb. Okay, first of all, let me say gerunds, they are verbs, but they function they function as noun. They are verbs, but they act as noun. Now, let's say, for example, okay, I'll show you how it is done. First of all, you understand this thing, that what are gerunds? Gerunds are there are some verbs, okay? For example, swim, dance, then paint, then what else? Sing, okay? All these are verbs, okay? These are the action words. Now, while these action words are used in the form of noun, okay, or they in the sentence are acting like a noun, so they are called gerunds. Okay, now how it is created, let me show you. How are they created is by adding ing to, this is not needed, by adding ing to the verbs base form. Understood? So let's say, for example, we have the word or the verb sing, so we can add ing, so it becomes singing. Okay, let's say, for example, play plus ing, it becomes playing, right? Clear? So now, if you have known about, we have read already in our previous chapter, what was that? Verbs. If you just check the chapter of verbs, then you have got a list there. there was, I think there were three parts. There was present tense, one column was there, then there was past tense, and then there was past participle. Now participle, and if you know what is the form of present participle, so that is verb plus ing. When this is when there is verb plus ing, it means that it is your present participle. So don't get confused between a gerund and a present participle. Both look same. Okay, you can say that this singing, it is a gerund also, and also it may look like present participle. There is no difference. While you see it, there is no difference, but how they action, there is the difference. Okay, how the action is, let me tell you. Let's take for example this word, singing. This looks like a present participle. So if it is a present participle, it will show you as it will be acting as modifier. Okay, it will be modifying something, or it will be in the continuous form. Okay, first of all, it may be in your present tense, past tense. Okay, so it will be in the continuous form. But if it is a gerund, before that I was talking about participle. Okay, if it is a present participle, then it will be in the form of continuous, any activity which is continuous. But if it is a gerund, or if we have to know that if it is a gerund or participle, and how do we identify that if it is a gerund, then that will be acting as a noun, as I have already said. So don't get confused by seeing this thing that if it is verb plus ing, then you directly don't write that it is present participle or gerund. First you see in the sentence how it is acting. If it is acting as if it is acting as any modifier, or if it is acting as any noun. If it is acting as noun, it is gerund. If it is not acting as noun, then it is present participle. Clear this thing? Now let's come to let's see how we identify that. For example, let's take this. Swimming is good for health. Suppose this question, and here while we see, this is the word, it might be our gerund or it might be present participle. Now we have to see how it is acting as. What is this? This is a noun. Okay, we are talking about something, we are talking about this particular thing, so this is acting as noun. What is good for health? What are we talking about? It is a noun. Okay, so this is a verb. Okay, this is a verb. Swimming, it is a verb. It looks like a verb, but it is a noun, and that's how it is what? Gerund. Now, gerund, they can act in three ways. Okay, they can act in three ways. What are the ways? Let's see. Gerund can act as subject, they can act as object, they can act as complement. Okay, subject, you know. What is subject? You know already. Object, which comes after the verb, and complement means complement. There are two complements. Okay, don't get now confused. Where the word is pli, that is complimenting someone, or maybe you are praising someone. That is one meaning of compliment. Now if it is this complement, ple, that means it's completing something. How? We will get to know while we proceed, but now we'll see how it is acting as subject. Now just see this sentence, this particular sentence. Swimming is good for health. Okay, this sentence. Now, what we are talking about, and first of all, we need to understand what is subject. When we talk about something, that is subject. So we are talking about swimming, so that means swimming is subject. and as swimming is gerund, so this gerund is acting as subject. Let's take one more example for, let's see, writing is an exchange of ideas. Okay, this question, or sorry, this sentence. Now in this sentence, what is the gerund? This is the gerund. Yes, writing, this is the gerund. Now this is acting as what? Subject or not? Yes, we are talking about writing. So this is acting, this is a gerund and this is acting as subject. Clear? Now let's see how gerunds are acting as objects. Now we'll see that. Dancing, or Mark enjoys cooking. Okay, now you see this. I is what? It's subject. We are talking about I. We are talking about subject I. I love what? When you ask the verb I love what, then you get an object. Now first of all, you need to understand that what is object. When you in a sentence, okay, first of all in a sentence, when we ask the verb, the question what, suppose in this question if we ask the question what, I love what, so the answer which you get, that is object. So if you see here, I love what? Dancing, right? So dancing is our gerund and it is acting as object. Okay, then now here in this sentence, Mark enjoys cooking. We are talking about Mark. Mark is subject. Enjoys is our verb. If we ask question to enjoys what? Mark enjoys what? So we get the answer cooking. So this is gerund and it is acting as object. Done? Now the last part we had understood, or we had got to know that gerunds are acting in three ways. Subject we have completed, object we have completed. Now what the last thing which is remaining, that is complement. Okay, it is acting as complement. Now let's see how it is acting as complement. See some examples. Okay, let me tell you first one thing. Complement, I have said what is the meaning of complement, that is which completes. Okay, and now complement of the verbs be, or complements of the be verbs we can say. So if it is complement, then let me write here complement for the verbs be. So in case of present tense, they will be am, is, are. For past tense, they will be was or were. Yeah. Now let's see. For example, competition. You can note it down also. Okay, I had forgotten to tell you this because while you are watching the video, you have enough time right now. So while you are watching the video, if you write it down in a copy, just how the process is or how it is continuing, so it will be better for you if you, that means understand, and by the side if you are practicing by yourself also, then you will, the thing will stick to your mind, your concept will be clear, and again for the future you don't have to again watch the video. So that's going to be a plus point for you. Okay, anyways, let's see. Competition is trying to do better than your opponent. Now what happens in a competition? You are competing with someone, right? And what is the meaning of competition? After the competition is over, somebody comes out in the runners-up zone, somebody comes to be the winner. So those are all trying to be the best someone is best, someone is better, someone is good. So in that way, that is what competition is, na? So you are trying with someone else to come in the higher level. Yeah. So now you see which is our be verb from this sentence. Which is our be verb? If you can identify here, then is our be verb, right? So if we remove this, competition is to do better than your opponent. It is the word trying. It is complementing. It is completing. So that's how this is gerund. Okay, this is in the present tense. Let's see one example in past tense. For example, Kriti's hobby was playing the piano. Now this is the be verb, was. Now if we remove this playing from here, Kriti's hobby was the piano. Is it making a proper sentence? First of all, no. And playing is the word, playing is the gerund, and it is complementing the be verb here. Okay, so this is our gerund. Okay, so up to this part is about gerunds and infinitives. Okay, in the next video you will get about participles.